iFanboy at New York Comic Con 2012 is brought to you by Seagate.
I'm here in Artist Alley with Matt Wilson and Jordie Bellaire. Am I saying that right? Bellaire.
You said Matt wrong, though.
I know. Oh, I'm Mott.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mott Wilson.
Now you two are colorists.
We are.
Which many people may not know exist. That's the
I'm
thing.
going to correct you. We're color artists.
That's fine. That works either way.
Color monkeys.
I've said in the past and recently that color is at a really good place in comics right now, and I feel like we're seeing some of the best work we've seen in a really long time. People are finally getting a handle on using the digital tools and not overdoing it. How do you feel about the state of color in mainstream comics right now?
I agree. I think for the most part, yeah, some of the best stuff. I think there's still some holdover from like the 90s where everyone just went wild with the new digital tools. But I think, yeah, everything's getting a lot better. So, yeah.
How are you looking at color now as just even a little while ago? Does it feel like there's a better place for colorists and they're more appreciated, or there's still like a little ways to go?
I think there's a lot of appreciation for people like Matt and Betty Brettweiser, and I like it because now when you read their books, people are like, Matt colored this and he did a good job. Betty colored this and it's good because of Betty. Right. So I think that's good, but I also do agree with Matt that I think that there's still some of that 90s stuff that nobody seems to like, but it's still around. But Matt actually told me when I began coloring, keep doing what you want to do and you'll get recognition for it. And I think that's a really good point. So I think that's actually what's happening more colorists are saying, forget it. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to Matthew Hollingsworth this, and it's going to be great, and people are going to love it, like Hawkeye, which is all flat and purple, but it's great,
Yeah. Now, when you say, just so people at home, or wherever you're watching, and I don't know, when you say like 90s stuff, what does that make you think of? What is it that you look at?
Unnecessary cleavage
That's
and
drawing.
sweat beads, and no, you'd be surprised. I see a lot of women in like outfits that are skin tight, and then men feel the need to render in cleavage and like bottoms. I'm like, what? The artist didn't draw that. And I don't think I've ever seen Matt do that. I've never seen Hollingsworth do something like that because it's a little, it takes away from I think what the artist was doing. Like.
Yeah, I don't want to like. I can appreciate a lot of different styles of coloring. There's a lot of books I'll read for the coloring that I would never color that way.
Do you read books for coloring?
Oh yeah.
I do that too.
Yeah, I read. I'd probably buy 80% of my books for coloring and 20% to read. Yeah, and then there's a crossover there, like American Vampire. I like Raphael's artwork. I like Dave McKeag's colors, and I like reading Scott Snyder's stories. So that's a perfect storm.
It's a trifecta.
Yeah, exactly. But there are some books that I have not read, but I flipped through 100 times. So yeah. But to get back, to not just where it's very obvious they use the computer to color this. I just think sometimes less is more. And again, this is a personal preference and just the way I tend to color. But I can also respect some of the people that put a lot of rendering and a lot of detail.
It can be pretty.
Right.
I'm sorry. I do not mean to knock it. It's just not my personal preference. But there's people like Laura who know how to render and render beautifully.
Laura Martin's a great example of doing it right. Yeah.
So if somebody was looking to be a colorist, is this a good time to get in, or what's a good way to do that?
Look at I think like all the you see all the books Image is announcing and things like that. It's just such a diverse time to get into there's so many different kinds of books to color. A lot of the stuff Jordie works on I'm super jealous of. She has a really cool title. Not that I don't like doing superheroes and that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's I think it's a great time to start doing colors.
I agree. And also with all this creator-owned boom, like Brew Baker is officially like going creator-owned. Who's the other guy? Like Mark Miller, of course, Mark Waid even. Or just, they're like saying, forget it. Like, let's do our own stuff. And that is a place for everybody to shine and collaborate. And I do think that that's good for colorists and letterers, actually. Letterers, colorists, everybody under artist and writer.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's all right. I lost it.
Okay. What do you think what's something that you would tell somebody who is interested in getting into doing coloring that you wish you had known sort of when you'd started out? What do you know now that you wish you'd known then?
Oh,
or
not
is it
me.
stuff that can't be learned?
No.
No, you spend. Advice I would give to someone is just to spend a lot of time in the chair. I think that's what when I met Jordie when she was starting out, and that's what I told her. Be true to herself in terms of her style and her color, her voice that she wants to put out there as a colorist, and spend a lot of time in the chair. I think I like to say that's the only reason I keep getting work is because I can hit my deadlines and it comes from spending a lot of time in the chair and So yeah,
You have a really nice chair.
No, actually, I have a terrible chair, and I had an even worse chair that now is my cat's chair. The other day, I accidentally sat in it for a few hours, and I got up, and I was all rickety. And so, yeah, I have an okay chair, but no, it's not nice.
I used to have this IKEA chair that the pad was weird, and then I'd wake up and I'd be numb.
Yeah.
Like I'd stand up and I'd be like, oh no,
Yeah.
this is terrible.
You should ask Jordie about her chair.
I work in a ball chair. It's an exercise ball, so I keep my posture, but I don't. I like sit all like monkey style when I work
So
anyway.
your core is amazing.
Yeah, my core, I do have a great core.
Yeah.
But no, I did take that advice from Matt, and I work too much actually to a fault, but I do like to work, and I think that that would be the best advice. Just practice and, do as best you can. And also don't think too much, I think, about masters like Dave Stewart and Laura Martin. I think something I told somebody was like, if you're really interested in kind of absorbing somebody, don't look at it constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to start something new, look at something that you really like and then put it away for the rest of it, because that way you're not like in it all the time, but it will give you exactly the tools that you need to create something on your own through your own filter. I guess that's what I'm saying. Don't overindulge in something that you want to look like. Just filter it.
Well, let me ask you guys. Is it important for a colorist to have a style, or is it important for colorists to be able to do a bunch of styles? Like, do you each think that you have something that this is what it looks like for me?
Well, I think the answer to the first part of your question is both are equally. I mean, different colorists can be the one, and different colorists can be the other. Where someone has a specific style, and they're going to be recognized for that and sought after for that. But then it's also very useful to be versatile, and because someone can't finish a book in time, the pages are late or something, and they have to go get another colorist. It's always useful to be known as the person who can come in and kind of mimic the style close enough. I mean, I pick up a lot of extra work like that, just doing a few extra pages and stuff like that. So I mean, I think either's good, and I don't set out to have a style, but I also don't set out to try and cultivate a lot of different styles. I kind of just, wherever I've landed is been really, I guess, enough in the middle that I can do a little bit of both. So I guess versatility would be, if I had to pick one, is what I would say.
I don't even think I have a style. I'm more freaked out all the time when people are like, oh, you have a really great style. I'm like, I have a what? And then when they're like, oh, you're so versatile, I have what? Like, I'm confused. Like, I think I'm going to actually test my versatility and everybody's patience, because I'm actually filling in for Betty on the last, or some stuff that they're doing on Winter Soldier, and I'm really scared, because I want to not bring something completely new. I want to keep her vision consistent, but that's going to be the true test to how good I am at, just keep like versatility, really. Like if I can try to nail it as best I can to be Betty and have like Betty's ideas, like then that'll be good. But I have a feeling I'm going to muck it up completely. Don't tell anybody. Sorry, Butch. Sorry. I'm worried though.
Don't worry about it.
Nobody will see this.
Good.
Yeah, that's actually probably a good exercise though too, is for people you asked about getting into coloring, is to look at other colorists and try to do what they did, just to see if you can figure it out. Because there's 100 different ways to do everything in Photoshop or whatever program you use. So I often do that, like when I have to help out with someone. I find that's the best part, is when it's challenging. Like one time I had to work on a book with Justin Ponzer, who I will never be as good as. His rendering is amazing, but it pushed me in that direction where I normally don't push myself. So that was.
All right, well, thanks, guys. And I know how this works. Is that means you probably have a lot of work to do that is stacked up since you've been talking to me.
Exactly.
That's how it works. All right, well, thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Thanks.
Josh, I'm on this really weird Wi-Fi signal. It's got all these really strange German industrial movies. They're all streaming right to it.
That's my Seagate GoFlex satellite.
Oh, it's you.
You can keep up to 500 gigabytes of movies, music, anything you want on here, and stream it to your device with its own Wi-Fi signal.
You just get the free Seagate GoFlex satellite app, and you can stream all your content to your iPad, to your Android devices, whatever you want, so you can get your German industrial movie fix.
Industrial, that's what we'll call it. I got to remember to lock this thing.
Yeah. So it streams Wi-Fi. It's got a great battery, lasts a long time, great for road trips, right?
It's a really cool little device, and you can pretty much put anything on it, and you'll have more stuff on it than you'll ever have time to watch. It's good for kids, good for all that stuff.
Plane rides.
All of these things. And you can, if you are an iFanboy viewer, you can get 10% off. Where can they do that?
They can go to Seagate.com/iFanboy and sign up there and get 10% off buying the Seagate GoFlex hard drive. And we thank them for their support of iFanboy at New York Comic Con.
It's really mostly just kids' movies.
I know. I tried to make it cooler.
I know, I'm not edgy. No. Sorry.